I'm a quick clapper. I'm a quick clapper every day. Is it time?
Mm-hmm.
I love when I'm on.
And we are here.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Ew, are we?
Who are you?
I am Stevie Wonder. Wait.
Oh my God.
I gotta have the whole.
You have to
It's
cover
gotta
it.
be. It's these.
You have to cover
all
it.
the way down. All the way down. Listen. You gonna get this. You gonna get this. Yes. Come on, Stevie.
And I am Jose Feliciano.
That's right.
Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Prospero año y felicidad.
I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas.
I wanna wish you a
Merry
Merry Christmas.
Christmas.
Yes, all that. Mhm.
And we are at Joy.
Where life and joy equals satisfaction.
See, now it's like too much in my mouth. It's like,
You like it.
yeah, that's right. It's a big, and it's big too.
What? I apologize today for who we are. Let me tell you something. Life has been lifing us.
It hit you right like this.
You see,
Hey, dude, listen. I already said, okay.
the more life set us,
What more strange we become.
we just are goofy.
When I tell you that if rolling with the punches
Oh God.
were a couple of people,
Hi. Just hello.
it's downright funny these days.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, that didn't happen.
But we're here and we have joy.
And listen, if you can't have joy during the times,
No, that's
you know what I'm saying? Then it's not really joy. I'm not sure it's joy that you have.
No.
You have something else.
Mm-hmm.
But real joy comes in the tests. And we're in exam period. We are taking milestones.
Well, and here we are. So, last week we talked about owning and embracing your imperfections in terms of like your physical body, right? And your outward appearance. And this week we want to delve into owning those things that maybe, are not widely celebrated by everybody, but it's something that is part of your character, it's part of your personality.
Mm-hmm.
And, maybe it's something that you haven't been so proud of, or maybe you really are, but other people think that you should, answer for it. So we are embracing all of us today.
All of us, yes. People have even said already, that last week they were like, that hit home. Thank you so much. Thank you for the tips, because I think we can be so critical of our outsides.
Mm-hmm.
But also many of us have kind of quirks, our idiosyncrasies that are loved by some and less loved by others. And what we're talking about today is, do you love them? You know what I mean? I laugh a lot, right? And some people like that, and some people are like, dude, can you be serious sometimes? Do you love the fact that you can find the humor in everything? Does it bother people, bother other people? But do you love that you cry at everything? You know what I'm saying? Do you love that you're sensitive?
At everything.
Right? Are other people eye rolling and you're like, listen, I'm going to cry at this commercial because it means a lot to me. And y'all just going to have to be okay with it.
My child already knows. I go into a full-on wail. And she just, she no longer gets alarmed by it. She's like, oh, Mom.
Mm-hmm.
Just like,
You get touched. I think, you know what I
I get
mean?
real touched by stuff, real hard.
Be like, that is so
I
amazing.
do, and I go, I do. Yes. So, so many of us have quirks that are loved by some and just less loved by other folks. And, think of some of those things. Does it bother other people that you can't handle scary movies because they do too much to you emotionally? I can't watch scary movies at all. At all. Like, my child loves them and she wants me to watch them with her. And I believe they are happening right here in my living room. And so then I cannot sleep for weeks and I can't do it. I used to be able to for whatever reason, but I love serial killers. I like the people who really actually do.
That doesn't give you a nightmare. But this joker who's just like a made up boogeyman,
It's the music, I think, is what takes me out.
She'll watch a whole documentary that has music in it, but it'll be about a real dude who really couldn't be what he is.
That's true.
But I think what happens is we often apologize kind of for who we are, right? We're just, I'm sorry that I'm like this. And we start to think that I'm not sure that's us being in our fullest joy and our fullest, security and confidence, right? And so I think other people sometimes expect us to apologize for something that's just us. So if it takes you a really long time to get over a breakup because you were loving deeply and you allowed yourself to be vulnerable, you know what I mean? You trusted somebody. People, you almost find yourself saying, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I'm still talking about him. Why? You broke up like 2 seconds ago. You're hurting.
Or you broke up 2 years ago and you're still heartbroken.
And still it bothers you. So. And what we're trying to say here is those things that you swear are your faults, right? Or even things that you might need to improve or you need to have some more tact or discernment around, fine. They're still part of the wonderful you. They're still part of your makeup. And you should, embrace and accept them. Just like last week, we might, my thighs are big.
All of me is big.
So
every part of me is big.
You know what I mean? Even if I'm going to work toward improvement, I can still love myself.
And other people do too.
Yeah. Come on. Big thighs save lives. Okay.
So I got on my little tank top today.
Come on. With a taco on top. It's just, come on, sprinkle a little joy on a taco and show a little skin. Ow.
So why is it important to love the things about yourself that even others struggle to love about you? That's what we're going to talk about today. Because I do think we miss opportunities to learn from others when we kind of make them fit into a box. We don't learn enough about the fullness of who we are if we don't allow other people to be their fullest selves. So, that's what we're talking about today.
Yay. Well, let's talk about also what our principle is. We are in the season of security and confidence. I know I say this about all the seasons, but I've really, really loved being in this season. It has really done something for me personally, and I hope it is doing something for other people. We've gotten a lot of great feedback about people. Somebody just tagged us like right before I got on here and like literally listed out the episodes. It was like, or you could find joy in being yourself. And they literally was like in episode 4, da-da-da-da-da, and
fun.
Episode 5, da-da-da-da. I was like, you better be watching these episodes and listening them out on this here book of faces.
I loved that Chesanet posted that.
Oh, I love that.
Oh,
first of all, you can feel the joy.
Oh my God.
I couldn't help but do I literally looked at the picture and was like,
yeah, that was
like it triggered my joy to see it.
That thing. And it was right on time because of the week we were talking. Listen, it was just she had that bikini on, y'all. And when honestly,
she
was exquisite.
Listen.
She was
a masterpiece.
Exquisite.
She was absolutely singular. She was just She was matchless. There was just, there's not enough. It was just amazing to see it. Not just because of how she looked, because the girls were girlsing.
Oh,
but also because you could just feel that
all of her was
and the
allsing.
joy. All of her was allsing. Y'all better get on this joy train. You better come on.
Yeah. I mean, you could see
this
the
confidence will just free you so good. All right. So let's define it. Security and confidence is accepting and trusting oneself to accomplish tasks and goals.
It is a positive, realistic view of the self, including all areas of strengths and improvement.
Motivational mantra.
So we got a special one in here today. We're just gonna go with it, y'all. If you're listening to this with children, this is where you turn this down, because we have to say the fullness of this.
If we don't
to really
say
give
it, it's
to
not
you. No,
right.
You won't understand.
You won't get the punch of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's gotta just hit you.
Yeah, and we do want to excuse all of the lyrics before it.
Right. We're not really necessarily justifying the entire intent of it, but it's a powerful word.
Yeah. You got to get into this.
That our brother Ludacris delivers in the song.
Give it to the people.
He asks a question. We'll leave that question out of here. But he asks it rhetorically and then says, bitch, I'm me. Right there, Holy Ghost. Wait a minute. Bitch, do you see that it's me right here?
I'm not talking about nobody else. I'm me.
I am not listing a whole bunch of my attributes either.
That's the thing. That's real good. I'm not explaining to you.
I'm not trying to justify my value to you. I'm me. That's enough.
I'm me. I'm the reason you're in VIP. Listen,
in fact, you in it's VIP just being around me.
Your whole experience has been elevated because
I'm here.
My presence.
My meanness.
We just talked about this with my child. And she said, a guy asked me once what I bring to the table. My 23-year-old child said, oh, baby, I'm a carpenter. I create the table.
We just want that to marinate on your spirit for a little bit.
I'm raising something good up in here. This security and confidence.
What do I bring to the table?
The table you're sitting at, I made.
Tables. What do I bring to it? I'm the table. I've arrived. And again, it can sound like we're saying something that sounds conceited. And you know why it sounds that way? Because we're so used to lowering our eyes. We are so used to shirking our confidence. We are so used to just minimizing and self-deprecate. We're so used to that it sounds just absolutely arrogant to be like, just my meanness. But what that means is too, not just the good parts of me, all of me. All of the little idiosyncrasies, the quirkiness, the little imperfections, all of that too. That is all fantastic.
I'm currently in a situation. I'm not going to talk about the situation I'm in, but the situation has been bothering me lately. And I started to think today, this could easily, if I didn't have security and confidence, this could break me. This could make me feel like I'm not valuable. I want you to know that at every turn I've said, you know what's causing this situation right now is the fact that I am me and that no one else can do what me does. Listen, we all have somewhere in our life where we are the only ones that can present this thing.
Can people make do without you? Sure. But you're never replaceable.
I ain't disposable. Yeah. I don't know what. Not me.
There's no synonym.
Bitch, I'm me.
I'm me. There's no synonym. There's no exact replica. There's no way. You can come close. It can be similar. It will not be exactly the same. It'll do. It'll do.
It'll do.
Yeah, because we don't want to make it seem like life doesn't. Somebody dies and the community goes on, sure. But you can't replace what I'm bringing. What if we walked around with that level of clarity, about who we were.
Mm.
Just my meanness, which means I don't need to be perfect. You see how that's the important part. I don't have to show up perfect.
That's
If
so
I
good.
believe that my meanness alone is what's going to just absolutely turn this whole thing on its axis.
Nikki Giovanni
I don't
said,
have to be
even
perfect.
my imperfections are correct.
Yeah. But that's not just, that is not just ego tripping. That is fact. Even in my imperfections,
It all works
just
together
my me.
for the greater good. Yep.
Do you know the things you won't tolerate? Do you know that the things you just so gleefully skip away from? If you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm me. that don't happen to me.
And you know what? And we are not saying
Not
this
me.
because we have always been these people.
Come on.
What we're saying is we know this
remind
lesson
ourselves.
because we have accepted some foolishness. There are things I right now, I'm not going to say I'm ashamed to say because I learned the lesson.
I learned.
But there are some things I look back on like,
Yeah.
why was I fooling with that?
I forgot I was me. I'm mad at the other person for not recognizing it. I forgot. It wasn't even your responsibility to remember I was me. I need to remember that I'm me and remind you every single chance I get. I forgot to remind you. Me.
That thing is so good. That thing is so good.
Me.
I forgot to remind you.
And listen, and that thing, that lyric has always hit me. Again, for those of us who know the lyric, they're like, but he's saying, I understand it. We're talking about the just an over a concept.
Just take that.
Like,
Just take that out.
Wait a minute. I'm me. He doesn't say. Do you notice that use of second person voice? He don't say, I'm ludicrous. He didn't say that. He didn't say I'm a star, I'm a rapper, I'm a famous DJ. I'm me. I'm me.
And I'm the only me you gonna get. You ain't never gonna get another me like me.
You're not nearly excited enough to recognize you in the presence of me. What? You're not nearly valuing all this me that I'm coming up in here with. Yes, with all of that whatever little imperfections. Yeah, with all that, I'm still me.
That's so
I'm
good.
still me. So today we're talking about why. Why is it important to proudly rock those inner workings, right? Even if they're not that popular. We said the same thing last week. Why is it important to be like, yes, I'm gonna put these short shorts on with these big thighs? Yes. I mean, people really think that there's like people talk about that, out in public. Now, she didn't need to have that on. Why? But
Why
she can.
Why she didn't? They made it in her size.
What's the cutoff? What is your size cutoff for these shorts?
I remember once, this was, over a decade ago. Joy John Brock, his wife, Joy John Kendra, showed up and with some short shorts on somewhere. And he said, where's the rest of your pants? And she said, this all they sold me. This what I was supposed to put on. This what they gave me.
I didn't alter the outfit from the store.
I didn't cut them.
This is all they
This is what I purchased.
sold me. I'm screaming.
And so
that's all they sold me.
When you see the big girl out and you see her with, that's what they sold
That's
her.
what they sold her.
They made it in that size for
she
her.
went in her and got it.
So we're going to accept it.
She's supposed to not get it.
In fact, we're not going to tolerate it. We're going to celebrate
You're going
it.
to celebrate that. She had to clear with you?
Never.
What? Really
Never.
think about what we're saying. They don't need to be having that on. Says who? Why are you the final say-so on people's tank tops? You the tank top police?
And if you're not too careful, she gonna be the one that's gonna snatch up your man. Stop talking.
Because confidence is real sexy. Hating ain't. Hating is a little ugly. It's really not cute on people. People think hating is cute. It's not. It make you look kind of less cute. But sashaying and knowing, hey, I'm working with something, that's hot. That is hot. So why is it important, right? To proudly, you know what I'm saying, and work your inner, just rep your inner self. One, you invite other people to experience the freedom of being unique.
You said something so good in, I think maybe the last episode or the one before, where you said, when I don't show up as my fullest self, I rob others of what they may have needed.
Yep.
I don't even know if I'm keeping it from somebody
Yep.
needed to see me in the poom poom shorts.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody needed to see
can
me
get that
crying
freedom
and
right there.
wailing at the commercial.
So they could get that freedom right there.
Somebody needed to see that and say, "Oh, then I'm okay too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm teaching a lesson here."
That's so good.
Okay.
That's so good. My sister, fellow writer and the best historian ever, Dr. Stephanie Evans, is always very clear about like her, for lack of a better term, childhood trauma history. And she kind of just speaks openly about it all the time. And people, I think, wonder like, wow, why would you bring that up? That's so tragic. And she was like, what? That has built who I was. And I tell her that every time you talk about it, you free so many people who just were like, folks carrying around like it's their shame. That ain't your shame.
I'm here because of it.
Right. That's not your shame.
I'm not in spite of it. Because of it.
And I was like, every single time she would come and talk to my class and things like that, I was like, you have just liberated people. It liberates people to see you just be like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and own these little parts of myself. Here they go.
Yep. You never know.
Right.
You demonstrate to others that being yourself is not an embarrassment.
How did we get there?
How many things do you apologize for in a day?
I have clients that apologize for having emotions. We're in a therapy session.
This is why, and I'm going to say this,
I'm
especially
so sorry
in
that
this
happened.
season. Oh, I've been openly crying everywhere I go. Just somebody mentioned my daddy. I just go in and I'm okay with it. Because I need to. And you know what? It frees somebody else. That you know what? I've been holding on to all of this emotion.
Why?
No.
Why?
There's room for all of it.
There's room for all of it.
There's also room for the person who's very stoic and doesn't have emotion.
Sure.
Fine.
There's room for whatever the thing you bring that you think other people don't digest well. And sometimes you're right. They haven't been digesting it well. So
we got to learn to stand firm and force people to make space. Again, when Brock got on up and
squeeze yourself.
Oh, no, this is my seat.
This is my seat.
Sometimes you got to tell somebody,
Yeah.
this is my seat. And I'm going to sit in it. And you going to scoot over. You overflowing into my seat.
We forget, too, that people who walk in their truth, no matter what the truth is, right? Some have obstacles, challenges, joys, whatever that is, what the truth is. That in itself is something to be envied. That in itself is a virtuous personality style.
How many people have you looked at and been like, God, I wish I could be that free.
Just live out loud like that. Come on.
You're over here admiring somebody else. All they did was decide to do it.
I'm going to do myself. Daniel Pierre, Black... on my show, Jojo Bonnie. Listen, Baba Lau, when I tell you that he shows up everywhere. He's not anywhere not being himself.
I've seen that man show up barefooted in a place.
I want you to know.
He told me a story once.
He and I testified in court.
This man was a Rhodes Scholar. He showed up at a dinner with other Rhodes Scholars the world over and was eating the chicken with his fingers. Everyone else is trying to cut with this. And he was like,
I don't know how to eat that chicken like that. What that got to do with my absolute brilliance? Because his brilliance is unmatched. I don't care how I eat that chicken.
Because he deserved to be there. I'm finna eat the
run
chicken.
Run up on that brilliance.
Like we eat it at home in Blackwell.
What? They eat it at home like that.
That's, ooh.
They not at home cutting that chicken off that bone like that. They eat it like that.
What are the spaces we show up in
thought we
different from who we are at home? We are. I just saw a meme the other day that says, my work me, my outside me, and my home me are all three different people, and they all look different. They shouldn't.
Oh, I hate that for you. Now again, we are not telling you, you know what I'm saying, to be at work talking about, I keep it real shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you be cussing in front of your kids. You teach kindergarten. Don't make that face.
Okay. But I do think there's something to be said for the cadence of your language.
I do think
you know what I'm saying? I do think that. Yes, I do think that there are certain colorful languages that maybe we're not going to We're not going to bring. I was talking yesterday with brilliant educator. I mean, brilliant, and I've just watched him grow over the years. He was at one point maybe an AP, and then a principal, and now he's an area superintendent, and all these things. And the way he and I talk is like we are just on a street corner. and I said, you know what? I think to a certain degree, we scare people because of how real we are, but the truth of the matter is we can afford to be this real because we know what we're talking about. Listen, when you have security and confidence,
you don't like the investment in pretending becomes. Ooh, I mean, you know what I'm saying? You're like,
what am I doing that for?
What am I doing that for? Because you don't have that embarrassment.
None.
You don't have that embarrassment. Even when we're talking about flaws, I don't have the embarrassment. Mm-hmm. Right. So why else is it important to do that? You also might find like-minded people who think as you do. I always think people have a tribe. When people feel like I'm alone, I'm the only one who feels that way, that couldn't be possible. Not with billions of people on the planet. No. When we did the connection and belonging, that's something that people I'm just so I'm so different in particular. What if you can just wear yourself out loud? Other people will see that, be freed by it, and now you got a whole community. Oh, I didn't know we could be unafraid to do that.
You also never know what people are noticing in you that they want to get close to.
Yep.
And we tend to
busy
not
hiding
communicate. Right. We tend to not.
Love.
I've had more friends since I've been free.
I'm sorry. When you say stuff like that, I just have these little moments, and she just wants to just keep going in the conversation, and I'd be like, "You just go."
I have been surrounded
these little
by
Holy Ghost.
My tribe has expanded.
I've had
farther than I could have ever imagined since I've been free. When I was like, oh, I wonder if they'll like me if I do this.
I've loved more intensely. I've been loved more comprehensively since I've been free.
You see that?
We could just make a whole poem right now. Okay. Just and end each line and since I've been free. Oh! Listen, I'm about to start screaming.
I'm telling you.
Look on my mic, I'm just screaming.
Ain't nothing in this world
nothing like it.
worth having if you have to sacrifice your freedom. I'm telling you right now.
And that confidence is required. Ain't nobody free not confident. Nope. 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 No. Nope. You are always in shackles. Always. Always. You're a willing participant in slavery when you do not. When you
willing participant.
You cannot.
You put the shackles on your feet so you can't dance.
That's how slavery worked. You had to break people down. That's how slavery even works. I got to make sure I strip you of all your confidence, or else this whole thing ain't gonna work.
And in fact, we're not gonna go into this history lesson. Our people sold our people into slavery because they forgot the beauty of what our people had.
We started valuing what somebody else had. I'm thinking we needed it. Boop.
We're not gonna.
We don't even need it
because we go. What I tell you, we will be
we're
here.
just gonna. We don't want DeSantis to ban our podcast in Florida.
It's already banned.
It's probably already is.
Listen,
do they have brown skin?
Well,
that is illegal in Florida. Brown skin is illegal in Florida.
That's right. And we're gonna just get browner.
Why is it okay to be different? Because I think what it is that what we think is the way I think about a thing or the way I do a thing. You know what I'm saying? The way I listen, what my music I listen to, whatever it is, our quirky little things. We're just like, but that's not like everybody else. Right? Why? Why is it okay?
We were made to be diverse.
Come on.
I don't know about the God you serve. The God I know about made all these jokers out here.
This joker making snowflakes all different. And you think that God wants you to be a carbon copy of these other people? Why he giving all these? Why he, she, whoever getting all these fingerprints out to people individually like that?
Yeah, that's how that group think, that mob mentality, all of that starts to happen when we're not. It's not when we refuse to recognize diversity. It's when we're not exposed to diversity.
Our own diversity.
That's listen. Remember we talked about
that. Come on. Diversity. Come on, the diversity between my right and left breast.
I'm telling you, there's room
right one likes
for
to
it.
play it small,
but the
left one is big and bold.
You ever watch those movies where all of a sudden the racist has a moment at the end, like the white man was radically changed by his relationship with this black woman, and all it was is that he had never had a relationship with a black woman before, right? And now, once he was exposed to it, he's like, oh, there is something to value there. A lot of these people, right? A lot of these people, it's that they didn't even know any better. This is what they've been taught, and they weren't exposed to anything outside of it to understand things differently. This is why you matter.
Yep.
This is why people have
whatever
got to
that
see
individual thing is,
and your fullness.
But you've got to be secure enough. You've got to be confident enough to be in your fullness, right?
You know, I think to myself, we are not that far removed. We were talking yesterday. A friend of ours was sick, and she was saying that she was watching Amen, and she was like, "This show would not fly today." Right? And it's true.
Sherman Hemsley
He was just, insulting people. In the very first episode, he basically insults the preacher and tells him, "You got to lose some weight. You're too fat to be in the pulpit." He said this to a man, right? But this was late 80s, right? And I started thinking about, all of these things that didn't age well. You all, we are not that far removed from just the LGBTQ movement. That was late 90s when Ellen came out on TV. And remember, she was dropped.
They put a warning label like she was
murdering
people on there. They were like, the sensitive topics and watch your children because she a lesbian. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because she's a lesbian. There was no sex involved, nothing. It had a warning before those episodes.
No lesbian has ever hurt you. No lesbian. You can't name the lesbian.
You have not been affronted by a single
You ain't been bothered by no lesbian. Get out of here. Leave that alone.
These lesbians, what?
These lesbians,
They what?
Have loved you fiercely. Have just been kind.
They just on TV. Doing what?
But that's the thing. That was just 1997.
That was yesterday.
We're not even 30 years removed from that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, because we weren't exposed, and now, it's just everywhere, and we just, we don't even give a second thought to that, right? We still have some people that don't.
Yeah.
But for the most part, look at the children that have grown up in the world since 1997 and the ways that they make space and room for all kinds of people. Because they were exposed to the diversity
differently. Yeah.
They'd never known any difference.
Listen, my daughter will quickly be like, nope, she can come in this bathroom. I'm like, no, you don't know that. No, I understand what you're saying. That she's transgender. Come on. This is the women's room. And have no pause. Be like, but we have to remember also our communities, what makes them awesome is that people are different within them, is the diversity within them, right? So without people walking in their individual gifts, without having the person who's really sensitive, without having the person who's like, let's think logically, and then getting on everybody's nerves. Here you go with your logic, right? Without having the person who, you know what I'm saying, is a little bit anxious. I'm talking about these personality characteristics a lot of times people don't like. Sometimes you need that slightly anxious person because y'all might be out here jumping off cliffs. You need that person to be like, let me plan it.
Let me save your life.
I think let's at least look at the bottom and see how the amount of time that it may take for you to hit the bottom. Sometimes you need those people. And when we release, you know what I'm saying, what it is to be ourselves, we're actually kind of shirking the responsibility of us being given the gift in the first place. So I think for people like us, for example, why y'all laugh all the time? You got to have people like us.
The most uncomfortable
that's fine.
Of moments.
You're welcome.
I don't know that we have uncomfortable moments anymore. I think we just go.
I'm not doing that.
We
I'm
talk
not gonna be
while
uncomfortable.
on the toilet.
I'm not going to be uncomfortable. I was testifying in court today. People just laughing. I can't turn off being funny. I didn't, when they were laughing, I was like, what they laughing at? Are they laughing at me? And I was like, no, I'm just being my regular self. Because I mean,
And gonna be my regular self.
What am I gonna be up there like? And no, nope. I'm about to come in here and tell you.
I thought you were about to be like, and I am telling you.
That would have won the case, right?
I'm not going.
The judge would have been like, okay.
Yeah, no.
But you know what I mean? Like, there's a reason why you're that way. We're so busy trying to get, and again, whether it's our outside appearance, there's a reason why we're so busy mad that we short. You know what I'm saying? Or mad that you tall. There is a reason why you're supposed to be. You haven't spent any time figuring out why you're so sensitive. Maybe being the sensitive one is important. Thank goodness there is a sensitive one. We gonna all be. I don't give a damn.
She said that the other day. She said, I'm not one of these people who just, no, I still have all of the feelings. And she does.
You'd be like, I'm out of F's and I don't have them. I still have a few.
I still have several.
I try to keep a reserve of F's. I don't want to be depleted of my F's. And I like to give them out. If you need a couple of F's, let me keep
Sometimes
some so I can give you some.
Because I'm all clear out. I just
let me just slide a little F to you. Here, just hold this. Here. Oh, you ain't even got to pay it back. Just, like when your grandma gave you $2 to go put in the collection plate. Here you go, so you can walk up front and tithe. Let me just give you a little.
I'll hold this F. Mine are gone.
Right? We are lacking when that happens. So how does all of this boost our security and confidence? So that's what we're talking about. How does walking in our true selves, how does it do that?
Yeah. Anytime that we don the mask, we are announcing to ourselves that we are not good enough. Nobody else has to tell you. You worried about how you're going to get some security and confidence. Stop telling you that you are not worthy.
That's so good. I want other people to value me.
Do you value you?
What's the blueprint they're following in terms of what valuing you looks like? Because when they looked at you, they didn't see it.
Mm-hmm. And then
that's where the bitch out me comes from. That's part of that teaching other people. I don't want anybody to be confused about how I'm supposed to be treated. Let me show you.
But see, then when we do stand in our truth, when we do announce this is who I am, this makes room for all of me. I can't. You know what? We're so busy trying to be small.
Oh my God! It's so sad.
We're so busy trying to can I just, let me just be in this
I don't want to take up any space.
I want you to think of how many spaces you arrive at and you immediately start to shrink.
You got your flag at half mast.
And then you can't wonder why you're uncomfortable because you've contorted your body inside of a box that didn't have any. Oh my God. You don't have anywhere. You in there hot and sweaty. You cannot move. Your foot has fallen asleep because of the position that you are in. You made you uncomfortable. No one else had to do it for you.
Because you came in and were shrinking. So yes, they might have expanded and filled up the empty space. You left it empty. If you don't take this seat next to you, I'm about to sit in it. I'm about to put my purse in it. And I know that you wanted that seat.
You sit and watch other people just twirling around you.
You mad at them.
Using your space.
You're mad at them. Look at them in my space. You've never claimed your space. Shout out Dr. Gloria Wade Gale Spellman. She was like, you have to claim your space. She was so big on that.
You relegated yourself to the corner.
You put yourself on time.
You in the corner facing the wall.
People wondering why you in the corner.
Like, I wonder what's going on with her. Why she ain't having fun?
Well, I guess if she don't want that,
the rest of us on the dance floor.
And then that night, you're filled with regret.
Ooh.
You're filled with regret and resentment. And even if you do need to live out loud and something you do or say does need to be corrected, at least you've been honest. You know what I'm saying? You can at least go to bed knowing I was myself.
I showed up as my true self.
I needed to correct some things. I might have needed to fix a thing or two, but daggone it, I was bitch on me.
Bitch.
Listen. That's who was there. If you're wondering who showed up, I ain't show up as somebody else.
Listen,
I showed up as myself.
I was given the greatest gift in the world, and that my daddy from birth was like, "Oh no, we're gonna let this one be whoever she came to be."
We can kind of tell that. You're just allowed to just move through.
This one here would stop people. Other people would try and say, "Oh no. This one gonna be free. No, we just gonna let."
Yeah.
No,
I'm gonna shout out my parents too. I felt like they did the same.
Made room for exactly who you were. Oh, you want to be brilliant and just smart and but you also want to sing and we're gonna go on ahead and we're gonna put you in all that.
My parents you want to have 19,000 friends and just every time
every single one of them could spend the night.
I got to meet 50,000 more people. Right. They were like, okay. Because also we're not if we don't let like those things kind of come to the surface, we really can't improve upon them anyway. So if there is something, if you don't let people be free, let people meaning yourself, let yourself be free. How are you going to get that needed feedback and critique on whatever it is? Say it out loud. I used to say that, as a person, neither of us are from the South, right? The deep South per se. And I remember, at least for me, my family was like, had South fears. You know what I mean? Like, be careful in the South.
Oh, yeah.
That racist, you go into a red state. We've all, we live in blue state heaven up there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you about to go to places where they think differently and whatnot. And I remember thinking to myself, though, at least some people down here are honest. At least I know where you're standing. You're not creeping around, and I think you might be an ally or something, and I find out later. Just be like, no, Negro, I don't like you. Thank you. Thanks for the clarity.
Well,
but I think also, too, if you have those kinds of bigoted ideals and things like that, how are you going to fix them? You know what I'm saying? If you don't say it out loud.
If that goes back, you got to announce. Anything you want to fix, you got to announce.
You got to say it out loud. It really helps you solve problems in general because you're letting people know what your thought process is. We're so afraid of being wrong. So we often don't even talk about ideas we have until we think they're perfect or we don't say them at all. There's nothing worse than being like, I thought about that.
And then you've missed the opportunity to birth a really amazing idea.
You've been in meetings before and they'd be like, I did think about that beforehand. So you let us go down this path.
And here we are.
And you had the
later.
answer. You were on the committee to give the answer. Why were you silent? I didn't know how people were going to think about what.
Okay. We need you.
We need your
every
words.
Single one. We need your quirks. We need your mannerisms.
All that little stuff
we need
you
your
think
words.
Somebody don't want.
We need every single thing that you think is it. You know why you think it's annoying? You're with it every day.
Right. Yeah.
You're just like, the way I clear my throat all the time. That's going to bother somebody. You don't know if there's somebody else who is breaking out in hives because they're too nervous about their little tick that they have. And now all they needed was to see you with your tick over and over again so that they could realize, oh, there's space for me too. Who knows? Whatever the thing is. You ain't hurt nobody.
Yep. Well, that leads us to our next point, because I think we've been talking about like, well, how do we do that? How do we celebrate our weirdness? How do we let it just hang on out there?
Let your freak flag
come
fly.
on. We did that in our earlier shows. We were just like talking about things that, not just made us, but I do think sometimes they're unusual.
Like
do you know what I'm saying? Like how I love Dragon Con type things. I like I like fandom.
I don't know. I guess I don't find us weird anymore. I think
I don't think it's weird, right? But I do. I mean,
maybe
but people might. The fact that you launch into song, you will launch into song, whether it's a real song or one that she's making up right then. But I'm talking about no matter where we at.
Oh God, yeah.
She be in the bathroom, a public one. Why isn't enough soap coming out here? Ain't no soap. Ain't no soap coming out of the bathroom soap.
Where's that toilet tissue?
No soap.
All of that. All the time. All the time. Yes.
Yeah. Let it fly.
And people just be coming out giggling. Listen, let it fly. Listen to the music that your other friends don't listen to. Listen, I listen to the strangest, the weirdest. I have a song for every
all things.
single thing. I have listened to pop. I have listened to yacht rock. And I'm not saying like I've listened and I'm, oh yeah, I remember that. I'm talking about I know the words. I know the intro and the outro. I will sing. I will break out an opera right here. I know La Boheme from the beginning to the end.
An opera.
I am telling you that I can sing you songs in Sanskrit. I don't get me started. I can do all kinds of things when it comes to music because I'm weird like that. And you know what? And it makes me me.
And it makes you you. And don't be embarrassed to do it. I think what we do is we hide that. I'm going to listen to this old John Bon Jovi and I'm like, when nobody's in the car. You know, we'll hide this thing. You never know. Somebody be in the car with you and be like, that's my jam too. Or, who is that? I didn't know I could like it.
This song is hidden.
That slaps. Who is that?
Yeah.
Like, you know, let me put you on to so-and-so.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to stand apart, from the crowd. We're not meant to be all the same.
We are not.
Embrace those things.
I don't know where we got the idea that we were all supposed to stand in the crowd.
Why
it's hot over there.
It's hot in the crowd.
I got room over here by myself.
Come on. Why is being
I can twirl.
Why is that a bad thing? Another thing I think to do to start to celebrate those idiosyncrasies about yourself is check the source of your shaming. Like, is somebody giving you a real critique, or they're really trying to get clarity about something, impress you to something higher, or are they just shaming you? Sometimes they just shaming you. Sometimes people, when they say that you're too sensitive, it's because they like to be insensitive. I mean, you're too sensitive. If I can't just, pop off on you.
Themselves the center. And now everything else is weird outside. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes.
Maybe I'm too insensitive. It's not that you're too sensitive. Maybe I need to lighten up. It's not that why you laugh at everything. Why don't I laugh more? Maybe it's the other person.
That's
Check
good.
the source of that shaming. Remember, many times when somebody is uncomfortable with how a person presents, it's because it's calling out something in them that they're uncomfortable with.
Yeah.
Why are you so nice and stuff? That's
Why are you so mean?
Flaw?
That's where the confidence comes in. Like, we got to be quick to be like, well, yes, I'm nice, but why are you mean? Like, I mean,
why does my niceness bother you?
Okay, why does it offend you? You got to wonder about that. I've made room for you to be mean.
Yep.
And I just provide the balance in being nice.
And being nice.
I never asked you to fix your meanness. How you gonna ask me to change my
niceness? And sometimes, we've gotten it from a real place, right? Sometimes even our families of origin, our parents have made us feel bad for being the people that we are, right? Sometimes that's a real healing moment, that we just have to kind of embrace. If you were 2, I got a whooping for crying. You know what I'm saying?
So you no longer do that, yes.
Because at 2,
right.
You know what I mean? You might.
Yeah.
So now, you were told to man up and suck it up. You were told that from such an early age. And now and that's how you respond to everything.
Yeah.
You don't let it. Nothing's allowed to hurt me. I don't trust. My friend posted that the other day. They were like, y'all who be out here talking about trust nobody. That sounds tragic. That sounds like a terrible
for real. Trust no.
But people's parents are building that inch. Trust nobody.
Not even Grandma.
You're about
Eunice?
to go to college. Trust nobody. Just keep everybody arm's length away from you, so you won't get hurt. That you gonna start off hurt. I'm hurt by having to do that. I'd rather go ahead and love and lose.
Ooh.
I'm taking the risk. Don't give me the dice.
We in here potting good today.
I'm gonna gamble that thing every time. Then just be without it. Nope.
Even if I got snake eyes, I'm here with y'all though.
And I'm putting whatever the money I have left, I'm putting on the next number. People be saying that I'm giving up on men. I'm not doing men no more. Not me. Throwing that spaghetti to the wall, see if it sticks.
All of it.
What?
Yeah. So what about the things that are present in our personality that are not so good? They're not just weird, but they're toxic.
They're a little something. Because I'm sure people have been watching this like, my tendency to cuss everybody out. That's what you're talking about? I should embrace it?
No, we're not going to say that.
We're not saying that per se. We definitely need to work on behaviors, thoughts, actions that, can be toxic to the world around us, right? But not to placate others.
Ooh.
It's the motivation. It's not to please you that I'm about to start changing these things. You see it. It's not to please other people. It's because it's leading me away from my own joy. I'm going to change some of these behaviors, not to get up underneath somebody else and make them happy, because it's blocking me from my goals. If I have an attitude all the time and I cuss everybody out, right? That's keeping me from the money I'm trying to make. I can't keep no job.
Ooh.
That's keeping me from the marriage I keep saying I want to, because I keep cussing out spouses and they keep leaving.
Quiet as it's kept, though, it's keeping you from the thing that would heal you. The connections and the belonging would heal you. So that you wouldn't feel like you needed to respond in that way.
But we've got to admit these things about ourselves.
Gotta call
y'all.
it out.
You ever hear somebody describing themselves and you be like, who are you talking about? That's you? Do you think that's you?
Somebody that's just so delusional, you be like,
you know how just empathic I am. He's looking at them like, I'm sorry, what? Who are you talking about? Okay. When you can't own those things, it's because that's a lack of confidence, y'all. Be secure enough to be like, yeah, I do this, and that ain't cute.
I'm just out here so humble, y'all.
I'm just so perfect in every way. There was just no reason to just exist. That must be a lonely existence.
And people be like,
I'm so perfect. Oh my gosh. Right. You got to embrace the imperfections. That's where the perfection lies. Yeah. That's what we're saying. Admit those things out loud, and then you can work on them.
Yeah. So, take a look inside of. So, I think what we are talking about really is this your personality, or is this your defense mechanism?
Uh-oh. Come on, psychology.
Are we just announcing to people, this is just who I am? Is it? Or is it what you took on because you needed to build a barrier of protection around yourself?
Oh my God, you're talking so good.
Are we saying that inherently, you're saying when you were born,
you was just a spicy little child. You
so
were
rare.
snatching the bottle out of your mama's and give me the. I don't know you like that.
I don't think that's true. And so sometimes we do have to be really honest with ourselves, Is this something I do want to make space for? Is this something I want other people to make room for? Or do I know this is problematic too?
But maybe I just don't know anything else. And I think it's okay to say that too. This is the thing. That's what we're saying. Love yourself enough to say, even with that stuff, I'm still divine. Right? I'm still divine. But here are some things keeping me from my ultimate joy. But sometimes we have to do that kind of exploration. Let's say you do have these bigoted opinions. Did you grow up in a household that taught them to you? All right, let's forgive ourselves. All those little things you used to say. You were in the 90s saying them terms that now we know you don't say them anymore.
I think of myself in the 1900s. I think of who I was like when we first met.
Good times.
Listen, I was a rough one.
Good times.
I was rough around every edge on me. Okay.
Good times, though. We didn't know if Oakland was going to start something off. Let me wear earrings I can take off quickly, just in case.
I was ready to go,
Are you ready to
y'all.
go to the party? Let me bring my Vaseline just in case.
You better have it. You don't know what's finna pop up. But I do think that, over the years, to admit to yourself, oh, no, this isn't really who I am. At my core, this isn't really who I am. I've just had a number of things that I've experienced where I thought I had to adapt into this person. And now I've announced to people that this is my personality. That's not now I still don't suffer fools too often. However, I don't need to just go. I don't need to make other people feel small. I don't need to cuss people out. I don't need to go off. I don't need to do those things. That's an extreme. Sometimes we just got to look within and see what are the things that I've taken on that really aren't me at my core.
That's so good. We're afraid sometimes to look at those things because we think they're horrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we just don't look at it, and then it rears its ugly head, and then we try to avoid it. I mean, we're just kind of in the same cycle of like, I'm embarrassed by what I've done.
I was just going to say, we tell ourselves we're embarrassed to go back and tell people, I was wrong. Why? I don't know why that's so hard for us to say, because we're all wrong at some point. But we all do that. We all say, you know, I'd rather be silent than admit I'm wrong. Okay.
Now nothing gets fixed.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And you know, our main point about that is that you've got to fix these things about yourself. You've got to celebrate yourself. You've got to grow in joy from a place of security and confidence. You cannot do it from a place of shame.
Yes.
You cannot do it from that place. That's not where you're going to be able to do it.
From a place of shame.
How you gonna grow from shame?
We talking too good, y'all. We just talking too good.
That's not a place where you grow from.
We just talking too good.
You must, yes. Even if you down at the bottom, like I'm at the bottom of the barrel. You better have a little something down there. You better have a little something down there, in the bottom of your barrel, or because what you gonna grow from?
I love it.
What we gonna water the plant with?
Ooh.
Plant talk. Oh, that's your love language. How are we gonna get the seedlings to come out of this?
Yeah, I think this was a good episode. I needed to hear this.
I needed to hear it too.
This is a good one.
I needed to hear it too.
So basically, y'all, there is room for all of us.
I want you to stop apologizing. That's the charge this week. No apologizing for who you are.
There's room for all of us, and there's room for all of us to grow.
Yes.
So we got to be able to announce, these are the things that I like about myself I'm going to keep, and these are the things that I need to tweak. Okay?
But it's all beautiful and divine. They're all part of who I am.
So we are going to wrap up with our compliments for the week. We have a number of, I'm going to scoop this over. So
what song is that? What is that?
I know exactly what you're talking about. Good vibration.
Is that it?
No, but it's the same woman. I want to say it's the same voice. You got to.
We're not going to have the words, but we're going to have the notes. That is really who we are. Listen, we're going to embrace the imperfection.
Apologize for
We're not apologizing for it.
So if you feel the need to come and correct us we don't care about them lyrics.
Nope. Them notes hit.
Oh.
That humming gave you what you needed.
Oh, okay. With that good vibrato. Okay.
Not a word is correct. That's okay.
Not one. So we asked about the most recent compliments. You know what I love? I love that even when I ask this, people come weeks later and they're still, because it does something for your spirit to announce, somebody said this about me. And then you get to acknowledge that you felt good after they said it. And it's a reminder that this is a truth about you. You get to really, accept this fully. So, my girl, Jasmine, she's kind of family. She's
family.
She's family. She is the sister-in-law of Masai's godfather. So, we just that's
community.
All
Come on, that's family.
Listen. So this is what I love about her. And I'm going to tell you what I love about this compliment. So she came on and she said, "It's always my hair. Always. And my smile." I got a hair compliment yesterday, right? She says that. And then her brother-in-law comes behind her and says, "And that's not even if your top 20 best, sis.
Thanks.
There are all kinds of other things. Those are the things that they just see.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, you've got way more before. I love it. I love that. So then you can read. Can you read that? Can you see that? I'm not calling you old. I'm just
You might be.
Can you see that?
Is it this one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, our girl is single. Somebody said, "Okay, ma'am, you are wearing that dress. Okay, you look good." Looks at the guy sitting next to her and says, "You see that? That's called style." And this was just a sister who was at the Detroit waterfront. That sounds like, shout out Midwest. That's how we gonna do it.
I love that. I love that for us. I love the way we shout each other out as Black women. There's nothing like it.
When I tell you, there's
nothing like it.
There was one of our Morehouse brothers posted himself, and he was killing the suit. I enjoyed the thread. I enjoyed him in the suit. I said my 2 cents, but I even said that. I said, this thread has blessed me so good. Mm-hmm. It was just and especially men talking to another man. I see you, bro.
I see
looking
you,
good.
Bro.
Okay, GQ. All right, Jet Magazine putting stuff back on the cover. It was just one after another one.
Yes.
Everyone saying, "You look excellent."
I love it. I love it.
Everyone just saying that, and I thought that was awesome. We got a bit of an anonymous one because he didn't want his name to be said, but he said that last week's episode really hit home for him. Right. And it's funny because when I tell her off camera who this person is, I'm like, okay, we all have always thought he was fine. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's really funny that he has struggled with body image and things like that. Men worry about height, you know what I'm saying? Like just things like that. And he was like, I've always, been like, if I could just be a few inches taller, just something. And he was like, that episode last week just made me just stop and be like, let me just appreciate, you know what I'm saying? Like what I've got going on. Mm-hmm. And so he said, I just paused. It wasn't just one compliment. He paused and thought about all the compliments he had gotten over time from people who he admired. And he was like, wow, people I think are really attractive then, he's saying in his way, have said that to me. And all those years I've just been shirking those compliments.
You see that? He
would literally counter someone like, hey, you looking good. I mean, if I was taller, he would literally right then.
No.
Right then. Shirk the compliment. No. He's struggled with being a dark-skinned brother. And of course, and I was like, because to some of us, that's the selling point. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, but I mean,
it's what I want.
People have had the complexes over time. And he said, it wasn't just one compliment. It was just, going over and just really thinking like, man, I have been doing this to myself.
Y'all compliment folks. Mm-hmm. Tell people what's going on in your head. When you see something, I don't care how small it is. You see a sister in the grocery store struggling with her child, and you go up and you say, you know what? I see you, sis. I see you in here doing what you have to do to get food on your table. Shout out to you. Look how it just lifts right away. When I was at my daughter's school, and this sister, another child's parent, when I tell you this dress, she was wearing this dress. I mean, it was like the dress should have complimented. The dress should have turned to her and said, thank you for just making me thank you for
look
wearing
like
me.
This. And I saw her coming and going. I was like, you wearing that dress. Where did you go today? And I was like, ma'am. And it was raining and she was walking. There was a way that she was just like, like the light went on. You never know what that does for a person. And she deserved to know that.
Yes. Oof. All right. Good episode.
I know.
I love
that. Love yourself. Love others.
Love yourself.
Love Add Joy by going on our socials and
that wasn't subtle at all.
Buying merchandise and following and subscribing and liking.
We do need you all to subscribe, you all.
Love us by doing that.
You don't understand what it does, not just for our security and confidence. No, but honestly, we have some really big things on the horizon that we want to do. We can't do unless we have, numbers behind it. Yeah, so we really need you. If you've been watching but you haven't committed and subscribed, please go ahead and do that for us.
Tell your friends to subscribe. Like, please, I made them do it right then, because what you're probably doing is like, you got to just hear this. Tell them, get your phone out right now.
For real.
Just and click on this.
Press the little
subscribe,
plus sign.
So then they can just, on your own time, I just want you to listen to this.
Yes.
You need it.
Yep.
You need it.
All right. What?